only thing I can think of with this, I was working Sunday morning as the storm system rolled through the Twin Cities, was thank you that it's Sunday and everyone was not stuck in rush hour traffic. Detroit gets up to 85 degrees. Now, Sault Ste. Marie, you're struggling a little bit, still staying in the 60s. It's the earliest tornado the state of Minnesota has experienced since records began. The old record was March 18th, so we beat it by a couple of days. A high of 34. Say it ain't snow. We're going to be dealing with snow by Wednesday, Thursday. Wind is going to be the major concern here across parts of Tennessee and for the Northeast. Where we do have a better chance for hail is going to be back across the high plains where we do have some cooler air aloft. Look before you lock. Also for moms out there, another good tip is take your left shoe off. Either put it in your lap or put it in the back seat. So when you get out of the car, you remember to check the back. So going to feel a little bit different than the upper 90s we felt to start the work week. But that cool down doesn't last long. Look at Montana. Downgrade to a tropical depression, but then likely to upgrade once it pushes out into the Atlantic as it interacts with the Gulf Stream. We have some strong storms just pushing past Fort Wayne. That's going to continue to push in to the Detroit, Toledo area, and then you can see some of those isolated cells just south of Fort Wayne. Now, we have had several severe thunderstorm warned cells kind of within this cluster, but this is expected to kind of fizzle out here over the next several hours. The area that we're really going to have to watch then is going to be back a little bit to the west. Areas like Chicago, where that sunshine now is finally getting out. That atmosphere will be able to rejuvenate, regenerate, and we could have more strong to severe storms. A few other areas that do have some thunderstorms this morning and into the early afternoon, areas around Houston, that Gulf Coast, Beaumont, right along I-10 will have some rain showers. Could cause some localized flooding. This area has been inundated with rain now for several days. For the southeast, it's just the coastal rain showers we are seeing, but areas like Destin, Pensacola, some stronger storms starting to fire on up as that Gulf moisture pushes farther and farther onshore. Now, one more check in here. North Carolina, Kill Devil Hills, that tornado warning is in effect until the bottom of the hour with multiple confirmed waterspouts that could be moving onshore. If we look across the country, though, the high plains, a couple isolated rain showers, but relatively quiet. This is going to be changing here in through the afternoon. Let's take you out to the high plains right now. I want to take you to Big Sky, Montana, where it is beautiful. Lots of clear skies, lots of quiet weather conditions, but that is just going to heat up those air parcels. Now, Detroit, Michigan, I just said, has rain showers moving on through. This is going to be kind of round one. Very dark, gloomy, ominous skies, and both of these areas are under that slight risk for severe weather today. So, two systems we are talking about. Let's start with system one. That's the system impacting areas like Detroit. This area of low pressure center is going to continue to track off to the east. Now, right around that low is why we have the rain and the storms this morning. Now, as that cold front swings on through behind it, that's going to be that initiation point for the afternoon thunderstorms to fire on up. So we're going to get a little break with sunshine that's going to rejuvenate that atmosphere. So 2 rounds expected for these areas, and back to the high plains, it's going to be later on this afternoon. Now, for the slight risk, Chicago, Cleveland, Fort Wayne, down to Columbus, we do have a risk for an isolated tornado. So rotation in these cells cannot be ruled out. The big concern, though, definitely will be wind and hail. We could have hail up to 2 inches in diameter. So here's kind of round one, but watch that cold front, watch that frontal boundary as we move into the afternoon hours, as those isolated cells start to fire on up. That's going to be round 2 for severe thunderstorms. So stay with us. We'll continue to track that, but also in the high plains, another system will be developing. The major threat here will be good size hail and winds up to about 60, could be 70 miles per hour. And these storms expected to initiate right around 2-3 o'clock mountain time and then continue to ramp up even after that sun goes down. So could be lasting into the overnight. Very important to stay weather aware. I want to show you St. Louis, Missouri quick, because we also have a big weather story going on here, and that is the heat. Temperatures are expected to get into the mid-90s. Now, as that humidity builds, dew points are getting up into the 70s. So we have a tropical-like air mass hanging out across the metro area. That's why we have heat advisories. We also have heat advisories areas like Kansas City and St. Joe, Missouri, where it's going to feel a little more like 103 to 107 degrees by this afternoon. Another big story out west is the fire concern. We have details on all your wildfires coming up here in 15 minutes. Stay with us.